So welcome, Sally here with Your Blissful Journey. I welcome you to the Alchemy of Healing Consortium. We share and experience many modalities because healing is often a blend. It's a layering of many techniques and therapies. And tonight, I have the pleasure of welcoming my friend Lara Jaye. She is an amazing international bestseller and speaker. She is a modern sage, intuitive advisor, spiritual guide, podcaster, light language pioneer. I mean, you name it, Laura, I believe you have done it.
Aww.
And I also have had the pleasure of personally experiencing working with Laura. So when I worked with her, it was amazing because I was getting better at liking my job. Many of you know I've been a hygienist for over 40 years and I was just kind of ready to quit. But it wasn't in the cards for that to happen. And working with Laura gave me the momentum to stay going. And when I say momentum, it wasn't like motivation, it was more like ease. And that just allowed me to become more joyful at work, which makes it easier, right? So I really have a lot to be grateful for with Laura, and I'm grateful she's here with us tonight to share.
Oh, thank you, Sally.
Thank you, Laura. So go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to make this really informal and ask questions anytime as we go along. And Sally and I had so much fun working together, and she's, oh my gosh, you're such a bright light in the world. So thank you for being you and continuing this amazing work that you do. But tonight, and Pat, I think I've met you before at WPN. Are you in WPN?
Yeah.
You look really familiar, and I'm not sure about. Is it Makiba? Did I say it right? I'm not sure if I've met you before.
I don't
But
believe you have.
anyway, yes, welcome. And I know others will be listening to the replay. But so of the ones that are on, who's familiar with light language? Pat, do you know what light language is, or have you ever heard it?
I've heard, but I don't know much about it.
Okay, and what about you, Makiba? Am I saying that right?
Yes, it's Makiba, and no, it's new for me as well.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, I'm just gonna tell some stories, and feel free to stop me anytime and ask questions. But it was about 10 years ago. I was really sick. My hair was falling out in clumps. I was very depressed, going through a divorce after 25 years. Let's see, I had to sell my marketing company. I had a lot of surgeries. My kids were making bets that year as to what organ mom was going to get out next. And so I was living in Midwest Indiana, just really I was about 10 years in of a really deep depression, and just absolutely miserable in my life. And it felt like one day I looked in the mirror and went, who the heck are you? And you wonder what just happened to your life, and is this really who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world? And I did not want to be here. I was I was just miserable. And one of my sons was leaving for college, and the other one was still at home. Let me grab some water. The other one was still at home in high school. So I started, there were days that my body hurt so bad, I just basically crawled from the bed to the couch just to say I got up for the day. And I started writing and meditating as a way to heal. And my first book out, More Than Enough, was basically written mostly on that couch and channeled and auto writing in how can I keep going? Why do I even want to keep going? And how can I keep going? Was basically my first book. And I began to realize just, I loved writing, and it was the way I got all the stuck emotions out of my body. And then the second thing I obviously started doing was meditating, and meditation was just so powerful. I'd never really done it before. I grew up in the church. They frowned upon meditation. If you said the M word, they were like, "Oh, don't do that." Yeah. So at that point, I had really was so sick, I was willing to try anything. And so when I was meditating, and then I started going to a group meditation and then channeling. So channeling is basically uh, relaxing and letting a higher spirit come in and speak through you. And light language began to come through me because I was around it. In the meditation, there was another person there, the leader who did it, and I'd never really heard it before, and so I was fascinated with it. And then I started to speak it and realized the power in it, and started to move. It started to move all this stuck energy in my body. And that was really what I began to see what was happening to me. And I'm going to show this picture, and you'll laugh. It's kind of a funny illustration. Can everyone see this? This is me. This was me about 10 years ago. And basically we're all these energy bubbles. So we all go out about arm's length. And then in our energy bubble, it's called an aura. I'm sure this is, you all know this, but all these stuck emotions look like this in our field. And so this is what I see when I look at someone. And what happened was I began to do the light language, and all these black spots, it's heavy energy. Some of, at the time, was probably entities, they're stuck emotions. So they're not just in the aura, they're also stuck in my body, in my organs. Sally works a lot with pain, which is probably a lot of stuck emotions, right? And you have to go in and kind of dissect it in a unique way. So it's, we always hear, take care of your mind, your body, your spirit, but no one says, hey, check out your energy, or look at your energy field. Nobody taught us that. So when I started to do the light language, and then I was getting better, I was fascinated with trying to figure out, why is this light language, and also called the language of your soul, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it in a minute, but why is that language that I'm speaking just over myself, and I started working on a few other people, why is it working? Why is it getting rid of the stuck energy? Why is it getting rid of the stuck emotions in my body? Why am I feeling better? Why is my hair growing again? Why all of a sudden do I literally have physical energy? And what I came to understand was that the light language is obviously, it's a really high vibration that I bring in. And not everybody who speaks light language, I believe, brings in the same codes and imprinting. So it's not just a language. It's not, we have to figure out the words. It's not a translation word for word, because it contains vibration and energy and codes and imprinting. And so when you'll hear it, we're going to do a little meditation with it a little bit, but you'll may feel it in your body. It reorganizes the energy. So it'll like literally hone in on whatever it is you're intending, grab that stuck energy. If it's ready to go, and you're ready to let go of it, it'll grab that stuck energy and release it from your field. So moves the stuck energy emotions. It will activate people to their unlimited potential. So I love that it does this. So the code in it gets in your field, and then also when I look at someone's energy field, I'll see almost like sacred geometry in the field now, and the light language will activate it. Like a lot of times it's those templates in our field are dormant until we're ready for them to come. And the light language will clear, wake it up when it's ready and set it in to go. It'll clear and balance your chakras, upgrade your DNA. It imprints the healing and the regenerating codes if you're needing some of that. The first thing I look at when in someone's field is to see if there are any holes, tears, or openings in this field. A lot of our kids nowadays are very porous. They don't have boundaries on their field. A lot of our kids are so porous they look like SpongeBob. And they're just sucking in everybody else's energy, and it's really tough on the kids nowadays. So the first thing I look at is that I look to see, or then also the light language also obviously imprints that higher vibration into the cells, recalibrates the energy field. It clears the unhealthy cords and bonds. So, a lot of times you hear people say, oh, I pulled a cord out or an attachment to. The light language does that to people, places, things, circumstances. Now, the cool thing about it is it does all of this, not just for people, but for places, land, spaces, businesses, anything we set our intention to. So I clear homes with it. I clear my website with it. My business, I clear other people's businesses with it. I had a company here in Sarasota. We did a business clearing, and in 6 months, they made an extra $70,000. And they've been in business for 15 years and never seen this kind of money, because we did a business clearing to get them to clear out all the heavy energy, the gunk. They were basically invisible as people drove by, because of all the dark energies that were surrounding this. It was a physical business. It was a big physical business here in Florida, Sarasota, where I'm at. So light language is it. I see it as very sacred. It's ancient. It's not something to take very lightly. Can be used as often as needed. It is. I call it the language of your soul. For me, it's the original language when we were all one. And then we separated, and now we have all these different languages, and we're coming back to more of a oneness now. And that's why light language is becoming so popular, and more people are awakening to it. When I first started to channel it again about 8 to 10 years ago, I remembered as a little girl actually doing it. So I had shut it down when I was 8, when I had been sexually abused. So from 8 to early 40s, I had completely wiped it from my memory. But then when I started it back up, I remembered speaking it. I speak it, I write it, I hand signal it. Now, some people dance, some people dance with it, some people paint. There's all different kinds of way people can express light language, and it's the power in it. I get out of the way and let the power come through. And when I first started doing it, I'll tell you, I was like, what is this? You have so many questions, and I was seeing angels. So I thought, I started calling it angel speak, because I didn't know what it was. Of course, I Googled that. There was nothing. But it took about 4 or 5 years, and someone said, oh, you're doing light language. I'm like, oh, what's that? And then when I looked online, this was probably, 6 years ago. I looked online, and I could only find 5 people in the world who did it at the time. Now there are, I'd say, hundreds. There are probably thousands now who do it. And some do it and don't tell anyone, which you'll see why in a little while. My biggest fear being a mom and, in this small town that I lived at in the Midwest, my biggest fear was going to the grocery store and not having control of it and just like completely embarrassing my children. So that was my biggest fear. But I got over that really quick when I realized that I have control over it. I have 100% complete control over it. Didn't know that when I first started, but obviously we do. And I began to see the power in it, and the vibration and what it does. The light language, you'll see it has such an incredible impact on our mood, on our level of clarity, and the ability to make really good decisions because it clears all that guck off of you right away. And I suspect everyone on this call is very energy sensitive, and it feels other people very easily. And then you pick up other people's stuff. And that's what's so cool about the light language, and that it clears the stuck energy. And there's many, many different modalities and healing modalities, and that all clear stuck energy. So I'm not saying this one's any better than any of the others. It's all about raising our vibration, raising our frequency, whatever you can do. This is just one of them. This is a tool, and I am not special. This is open to everyone. And that I feel like is one of my main purposes, is to activate people to light language, not just clear it for them, but activate people to light language who want to do it and use it for themselves or for in their own businesses or clients. It's so important to whatever we do to keep our vibration high. And right. So I'm going to pause for a minute and answer any questions while we go along. So any questions so far?
When this is Makiba, my question is it an actual language, or is it like you said you came out of the church, or you grew up in the church?
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in the church, and we start describing it. I almost thought of what we used to what we still call to this day speaking in tongues. So is it similar to speaking in tongues?
Yes, basically the same premise. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
It does make a difference, because I remember when I was 19, we call it being spirit filled. So I was spirit filled at 19. And to this day, even though I'm not a fan of quote unquote religion,
right,
I am a fan of spirituality. And I noticed, even though I kind of turned away from quote unquote religion, the tongue part I still speak.
I mean, love that. So you do it. You didn't even know it.
Yeah, even like this morning when I do my morning practices, I still have that gift, and it is amazing. It is. It makes it
right. It just grounds you. It brings that light into us and clears the guck out super fast. Right.
When I speak, it lets me know, okay, I'm in alignment. That is my cue for me. It lets me know you're in alignment. And then all throughout the day, I'll see 1111, I'll see 111, and I just light up when I see those numbers. Okay, I can relate. Okay.
You get that. Yay.
I get it.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I get it.
You got it. Fun. Well, I'll be able to show you some different ways you can use it then tonight. So this will be fun. This will be fun.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. I'm so glad. May I go back and ask a question? And what I'm hearing is it's like your light language kind of reboots us, right?
Yeah.
But you mentioned porous kids, and I understand the concept. Why do you think it is that kids now are having tougher boundary issues than, say, we did growing up?
That's a really good question. I'm not saying we don't. Our generations seems to, from what I find, and my clients are normally in their 40s.
What you're noticing.
Yeah, in my opinion. So first, let me talk about us. We have awful boundaries, and instead of having the porous ones, or we grew up having we took care of everybody. We didn't say no enough. We didn't take care of ourselves. That's what I'm saying, boundary wise, like physical boundary wise. And our fields had these holes and cuts and tears in them, and even like bullying energy. When I look on our stomach areas, or somebody trying to take our power, that shows up in the solar plexus for me, what I see. And so we got hit in a different way, and it was almost like kind of sliced up. When I look at the fields, like we're sliced up and cut up and kind of hit with darts and things like that, psychic daggers in our back.
Yeah.
The kids are just coming in already so open, so intuitive, so brilliant. We came in and are just kind of now expanding. Many of us, were shut down for many, many years, like me. And this is, kind of new, newer than our kids are, brought up in it, or at least, around that. And they are just so sensitive and not understanding, and not understanding what to do with these emotions, what to do with the energy. And we're learning it now in order to teach the kids, is what I feel like. And even when my kids are in their mid-20s now, and they're like, Mom, I wish somebody would have taught us, how to deal with stress, how to deal with emotions, like how to meditate, that kind of stuff. They wish that they would have learned that in school, or I would have known at the time, to teach them that. Those are life tools that need to be in every school, I think. But the kids nowadays, they're so open, they're so intuitive, and they're like not, and they're getting hit hard right now. The downloads that are coming in, they are getting hit hard. I think I heard from, in the last week, 10 different parents wanting sessions for their teenagers or early 20-year-old kids that were struggling. A couple of them were even admitted into psych units because they are getting so bombarded. Now we are too, but we're a little bit more resilient, and they're just not, their bodies are hurting. We have all these ascension symptoms. And if they're not studying this, then they're getting whacked around. They're feeling, all these kids are getting diagnosed with bipolar, and there's nothing wrong with them. That's the energies coming in. They're feeling 10 different people's energies in their body, or they actually have entities. Some have entities that I took those out. Everybody's got something a little bit different, but I think our kids coming in are so brilliant and so open, and they're going to blow past us really fast, but they have got to understand their energy first and foremost, and to be able to control it. I think. So thank you, Sally. That's a great question. Yeah.
No, and thank you for that explanation.
Yeah.
I have kids who are in two different kind of eras. I've got 6
Yeah.
between my kids. And so I've got one who's more like our kind of energy that I'm familiar with, and my
Yeah.
younger one who is the more porous one.
Yes.
It's like fascinating to see how each and how open they are to trying new things, even though they were raised in my same
Right.
house, it is interesting to see.
It is.
So thank you for that explanation. That
Yeah,
was
you're welcome. Any other questions?
Anybody else have any questions? Because I have another one, and you don't have to answer it, but I'm curious if you want to.
Okay.
Why do you feel that trauma closed down your spiritual avenue?
From like when I was 8. Wow, that's a great question. Why do I feel like, so when I was 8, I was sexually abused by the neighbor boys. So they were, I trusted them. They were friends. And so I think that I'm just seeing what comes in, because I really don't know the answer to that. That's a great question. And I'm assuming that because I trusted them and I trusted my spiritual connection, that all of a sudden I couldn't trust anymore. I'm just guessing. And it was at 8. Right after that, then I started getting really sick. And then the Epstein-Barr virus came in, EBV, and then all the autoimmune stuff, and then sick ever since then. So there were all kinds of things. So that's fascinating. But yeah.
Thank you for that. And I'm sorry for asking. I didn't.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Back. And so then what happened was, as you got older and you got so sick, you started looking for something again, and ended up reconnecting with what you already knew.
With what I already knew inside. Absolutely.
Isn't that wonderful how, I mean, it would have been great if you would have been able to continue on.
I know, right.
Perhaps it would have been too much for you at age 10 to be going to school and sharing light language,
I have no doubt and I already felt like a complete outsider in my family with the 4 of us 4 kids, and my mom couldn't find my birth certificate. And so I really did not think that I belonged, and then she couldn't find it. I have it now, like I was legit, but you don't know that when you're a kid, and like you can't even prove that I came out, that I was here. And I felt like a complete alien, and now I realize I was, but that's okay. I'm better with it now. I was in California last month, and my girlfriend said to me, she's just looking at me really funny, and she goes, "What planet are you from?" And I busted out laughing. I'm like, I don't know. Like, do we have to know? Anyway, it was funny.
That is great. That is great. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for your transparency. That's
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Oh, my hair's all messy now. What other questions? Pat, did you have any questions? No? Okay. I want to say the other day I was talking about when I was married and I had the kids. They were little. We take them to Disney World. And even by 2 p.m, I would be curled up in a ball and did not understand that I was taking on other people's energies. I would be in line at Disney and hear other people's thoughts, and did not understand any of this. And of course, growing up in the church, felt like all of this was, you don't, dabble in any of this. But the Disney, and I remember how sick I got, and my husband would just get really mad at me, and why aren't you having fun, why aren't you enjoying this, and I couldn't even move, and that is what, so I thought it was a curse. Like I hated being, feeling everybody's stuff, but now I see what a blessing it is. And I talk to so many kids nowadays who say, I hear other people's, like they can walk by me and they can hear their stuff, hear what they're thinking, and they feel it all of a sudden. And it's really hard on them. It's hard on any of us who that happens. I had to learn, one, that it's a gift and that I can open it and shut it down and be able to control that. And before that, though, I didn't want to leave my house. I didn't want to go anywhere. And I still struggle sometimes. I'm living in a downtown area right now. There's a lot of high density, a lot of people. There's a lot of Wi-Fi, and my body does not like this. My next move, I'm headed back out in the country, maybe in the middle of nowhere or something, to just to reset my body. But
I think of the movie, and I can't think of the name of it, with Mel Gibson, and was it Helen Hunt, when he got electrocuted and became could hear everybody's thoughts.
Yes.
And it was like they were running by, and it was, and I can only imagine. I mean, you would think you were going insane.
I thought I was. And this is why the kids are getting diagnosed with and put in psych wards. There's nothing wrong with them. They are brilliant. They are doing work on so many different levels and dimensions, and like we can't even fathom. And they're getting
Bombarded.
Bombarded and diagnosed with all the bipolar and stuff, and I'm sure some of it is legit and real, but but at the same time, that people don't look at the spiritual, the energy about it. So
If they knew what to look for, they might
yeah,
soften it up a little bit. Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
who is ready to hear?
who's ready to hear some
Share?
light language? Who wants to hear some light language? Okay, good. So let me prep everybody for this. It's like listening to a beautiful piece of music, is what I say. We need to get out of our heads. We need to not worry about what the words are. And I just invite you to receive it in your heart. It's a heart language. It's a soul language for your soul, for your body, and just let it land and do whatever. And I'll be going back and forth between the light language and normal English. I don't know any other languages that I know of. I don't think so. But I've had other people tell me that I've said like Italian and Spanish all in the same, and I have no idea what I'm saying. I just know that when I channel it, the power in it. And that's what I really invite you to receive tonight, the power. We're going to clear some stuck energy. We're going to clear, there's all kinds of things we can clear. We can clear our money. We can, Sally, were you part of that money? Were you part of that group when we cleared the money? We did our money pile. We
Yeah.
brought in our, yeah, we've done that a couple of times. That's really fun. We, yes, that's fun. And we, we've cleared houses. We've done all kinds of, but tonight we're going to clear some stuck emotions, whatever we've got holding on to. It was about 2 months ago. I woke up and I already felt like overloaded with emotion and heavy. And we know that there's a lot of, I call it the energy cocktail of the day, that things are always up and down. But it seemed like an extra heavy dose. And I went straight to meditation. And I started to ask every morning, what percentage of my energy field right now is everyone else's, is somebody else's? And that morning I heard 70%. So I've been checking almost every morning to, even though I'd gone to bed and it was 0, whatever work I did overnight, we're always out working while we're sleeping. So that's why we don't wake up so rested. We take on stuff. So it's like it's about being really aware of when I fell off. It's doing a reset. And it was interesting. I walked in my apartment a couple hours ago, and immediately I heard another lady's name in my apartment. And I had done her energy work yesterday. It was a client from yesterday. And her energy was seeping back in here, and so I had to clear it to get ready for tonight. So it's about being aware. It's about being aware of, okay, what is in my space that's stopping me, or that's sabotaging me, or slowing me down, or getting me off of my vibration and frequency that I want to be at. What have I picked up? Just saying hi to somebody in the elevator, you could have stuff jump on you. You could have their fear energy, or their anger. All of a sudden their anger could be sitting on your shoulders. So anyway, okay, so right now, just take a couple deep breaths, and we're going to, if you can, put your feet on the floor. Take a couple deep breaths, move your neck around, get comfortable. Slow down. And again, I just invite you to listen to this like a beautiful piece of music. Just really notice your body right now. Is there anything in your body that's pinging, that's wanting some love, some attention tonight? And that's all that light language is love. It's pouring love into your energy field to reset you, and to dissolve whatever is stuck there. So just kind of feel into your body, feel where it's pinging, where it needs some love. You might even name the emotion if you're feeling a certain emotion. And you're welcome to take one or both of your hands and move it to that spot in your body. A lot of times there's stuff in the back, the neck, the shoulders, heart, definitely the stomach area. We bring a lot of other people's emotions in through that way. We have a lot of stuck stuff there. And we're just going to do a little general clearing tonight, but I want you to just notice where you're at right now in this moment. What feels stiff? What feels stuck? Is there a certain feeling or emotion that you're ready to release tonight? So just let the light language flood into that area. We're sending it love and light. And just watch it, observe, move through your body. Most likely it'll go out through your feet as more and more light pours in through your crown or your heart. Kaila mola male pela marindere yetora mela marindere te koleti te marindere te ondona marindere aka. Onda arendere yotora marindere yotora marindore yeso yoso koleta bonama korendere yondara yangayo korendere yoko koyamada marindere yete koleti yondo tora marindere yotora marindere yoto korendere yoto koleko toriomba orendere yoto rindor yesa Coriandora lamo o rendere yo o renga yo kokoriama di ondara yama di enderioso di o rendere yo to rendere andare ya premiato koyuma ma aren de lama arengo yo sapioto corendere yo to ma o arendere yapa kiungora mo o rendere yo premo ki usa yama to yuso Kiyumo ba ayoto, di undoramo o rendarioto, di o rengo yeseyondoramo o rengo yoko o rengo yoso, onda arendo ayoto, do o rendo yoso yonora yanga o yotora mora engo o rengo yoso yomo. Kuyumarama rendere yoso da yondora yaka, de yondora yaka yoko rendere yato de piotora ya, o rendere yaka yo correndo ti undare yase yoso correndo ralamo o rengo yoso ti yunda ale moma a renga yoso correndo o rengo yose yama ko arendare yapa orinondo che yungo garendo yese yoso ko o rengo yoso ki yungo garendo ralamo o renga che yundo o ringu yese piotto de yundara male in der yeti otocleta da dionda dora mare in der yetocoleti yondar yoso o render yeti yoto ko yamada male in der yetocoleti uta mare in dariata ko o render yetocoleti yoto rayanda yaka de yondara more in dori yotora yanda yeki ko dora yanda yeti yotora la mare in dariaka ko o render yese yoso yanda ko orendere yete korindere yopo, korindere yeto kolete yodo da bandara yeki yoko, te yondara ma ata yeki yoko, dorama ala dara yondora le male indere yesi yusomana, ke yoko randara yete korindere yoporame doromo. Ko orendere yete korete yata yata, te yondara male indere yeto korindere yete yoto, te yondara la male indere yoto kliko de yanda, ko oranda yondora yete ishapelko, de yoto ma arendare yapa. Ke yomo mana doromana marianda de yondo ko rando reyete yondo reyesa. O orendare yete yoto. Ko o ondare yete yoto remo ondare yese yoso o onda. Ko yinde de poramo te mo nana yete yoto. Orendare yete yote yate yoto reyandare yete yata. Onda arendare yete yota peoto. Koriendere yapa. Kiondora yete yudo, koyendere yuno orendere yete yusha, ko orendere ye pioto, kalama ladianda, ki korendere yete koyungo rendera ya, omba arendere yapa. Keomota. Keomo da mariende yoko. Dorandaria de yotara la mariende yoto. Ko orendaria de yoto sepeuto. Corandara la mariende yoto re mioto rendaria de coriendaria de yoto. Nibiotara la mariende de seandara la morende yoto. Corendaria de yotoria mariende de yata. Corendaria brama rendaria beondarea sakaramata. Onda rendaria de yuta kaletuyonda reondaria seyoso. Corendaria de coriando re yamrienda. Juano alabanamate de seyondara la rianda. Ki yundara moringa yosepiutara mari in the yuta de mioto. Koyendiri yundo la mori in the yeti koyendo la mo. Ki yungora biuto la mari in the yeti yuto klebeto malienda. Ki usama de yende yuko arama. Ke samo. Ke yongo kalabala motapa. Ke yombo kakamata. Ke yomota. Take a deep breath, a couple of them. Just notice your body. What's pinging now? How do you feel different than when we first started, if at all? And very slowly move your feet, your neck, and open your eyes whenever you're ready. I would love to hear everyone's experiences or questions. What can I answer?
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was very expansive. Appreciate that.
Thank you. It's hard to talk after that sometimes. I wanted to, I'll tell you a few things that I saw. As a group, we had some, and I see this often, is psychic daggers in our backs. And so Sally's heard me talk about this. Anytime people are jealous or envious of us, or even just talk about us, it's like these daggers in our back. And there were pretty much all of us had those tonight. Not always, but they were there tonight. So I pulled, with the light language, I pull all of that out. And did anyone like experience or feel their emotion like actually move through their body or leave?
Makiba, I'm curious to hear how you're doing. If that's anything like similar to what you were talking about earlier.
Yes, the language, very much so. And I can't say I felt any major shifts or changes, but I have been on this journey. And like I said, in the mornings, I do my
You do
practice.
it anyway.
I do my work. So I feel like I'm in a really, really good place. And I've even done the energy session at the beginning of the year. And that helped. But I definitely the language. And I will ask you this. When you are speaking, do you sometimes know what you are saying? Do you get a glimpse sometime and then sometimes you don't, but it just feels good?
No, absolutely. And so when I first started doing it, I wanted to know what every word meant. And basically they were like, okay, that's your ego that wants to know. I was like, yeah, I know, I want to know. And they're like, no. So anyway, so now when I'm working, it's basically they tell me if it's on a need to know basis, if I need to know, or if the client needs to know. 100% they tell me, or if I ask, hey, can you tell me what this means, or what. Usually they give me, while it's coming through, they give me an impression, like I said with the psychic daggers, like what we're clearing while it's coming through. Or they tell, and they usually are leading me and guiding me while the light language is coming out. Okay, you're going to go over here and you're going to pull this out, or you're going to go over here and you're pulling this out with that, that with this light language. So yeah, definitely.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
And when I do sessions, yeah, we go back and forth, and I tell them what we're pulling out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Great. Mm-hmm. Pat, did you feel anything? No, that's all right. Yeah, some people do. Some people don't feel like they it. Some do, some don't. Yeah, it just is. It's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And different days.
Sally, you're just
different days
different.
are different.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. That's right.
Cool. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah.
That was
You're
awesome.
welcome. You're welcome. I'll put in the chat box. I do have so here's a free light language meditation offer, and I'll put that in the chat box. If you're welcome to that. Anyone's welcome to that. So, and I think that one is to clear your energy center. So it's just like a 5-minute light language meditation. So enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. That's great. Thank you, Lara. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing your gifts with us tonight.
Thank you.
I feel it was perfect for everyone. And this is why you resonated with Makiba tonight. And Makiba, I'm so glad you were here for this.
Me too.
Yeah, because it's just, this is what we're here for, right? To try different things, see what works, see what doesn't, what resonates. It's awesome. So Lara, a special thanks to you for sharing.
Thank you, Sally. Loved being here with everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
So if there's anything else anybody wants to say, that feel free. Otherwise, we can just wrap it up and begin our evenings at home. All right. Well, thank you again. And thank you all for joining us tonight. And you'll be getting the replays and in a broadcast message. So check your promotions to make sure you don't miss it, because you don't want to miss this replay. All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Sally.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.